Hey y'all, how you doing? It's me, Geraldine, the entrepreneur guide, web, and SEO expert. Today, I want to talk about marketing. This is a huge topic, and all the time, whether I'm doing a consultation or I meet people or I'm at a networking event, people always say, man, I need to market myself better, or I need to market my company better. In my opinion, a lot of people don't really know what that means. And the reason why is because marketing is such a big thing. There's so many different ways to market yourself, and some of them are more effective than others depending on the stage of your business, or some of them need to be combined with other strategies to be effective. So as a business owner or decision maker in your company, how do you really know which one to choose? I can speak about this for a very long time, but I'm not going to take too much of your time today. I'm just going to explain a few concepts so that way it can get you to start thinking about what might be the best way for you to market yourself without wasting a whole bunch of money. There are passive ways of marketing yourself and there are active ways of marketing yourself. Just to name a few and just to explain the differences, passive marketing is things that you put time and effort into and that work for you over time. Examples of this are SEO, blog writing, being on podcasts. These are all things that you do to market yourself, but they may hit at a later time. What I mean by that is, like, for example, for SEO. SEO is something that continues to be more effective over time as the search engines get to know how that particular content, whether it be your website, a page on your website, an article that was written, all of these different things, it starts to begin to understand the context about you. So SEO definitely isn't something that's immediate, and it's not necessarily going to bring you sales because it's something that works over time. Podcasts, if you're a podcast guest or you're interviewed somewhere, someone could discover that interview now and be really drawn to your company or service. Someone can discover that interview a year from now, and it may be relevant to that particular client or customer at that time. When you look at passive marketing, they're things that are absolutely necessary for you to do to build credibility, to begin to have your reputation online or in your industry, you being a thought leader, that become more prominent. However, depending on whether or not your customer or client or the consumer, whatever you like to call them, is in need of your product or service at that time really depends. And just to be clear, there's so many different passive marketing methods. That's just a few. So moving on to active marketing. What is active marketing? It means that you're going to market your service or product, and the intention for you is to attempt to attract sales right away. You can try and do this through ads. You can also do this through email marketing. You can do this through posting on YouTube and having call to actions. There's several different ways to do this, and I've seen a lot of business owners or businesses waste a lot of money throwing their efforts or all of their money into one method, not really thinking about the long-term benefits. One thing about ads, people always say, should I do ads for my business? Well, it really depends. The benefit of ads is you can put your product or service or self in front of several more people than you would in your personal network. However, targeting the right demographics or the right audience and having the right message for that particular audience and the visuals that are really clear to the people you're looking to target, those are all little things you need to tweak and make sure that you've put some strategic thought into in order for your ads to be effective. Unless you have unlimited amounts of money and you could just throw a whole bunch of money into ads, and based on statistics you'll get a small percentage of conversion, which also means sales. There's also things like email marketing, where you begin to build a relationship with different people of your target demographic or audience, that with messaging that's really relevant to them, what they need and what they're going through, and building a relationship over time. There is network marketing, and I don't mean network marketing in the sense of joining a company and being under this structure. I mean, it can be that, but what I mean is building relationships with people intentionally to build strategic partnerships or to gain customers based on you telling people what you do. There's also public speaking. That's also a way to convert clients, because it's statistically proven that if you speak to a large group of people, there's a higher percentage of sales that you're going to make in front of that group if you have the right message than in comparison to an ad that people see and they don't know who you are, never even heard anything that you have to say. There's so many different factors that go into choosing what marketing methods would be best for you. And I'm always a fan of having it be a campaign, not just trying one or two things, but really thinking strategically, what 2 or 3 things, what things can you combine to really be the most effective for making sales for your organization. And one thing I want to be clear about, my colleague Giselle Martin says this all the time, marketing is not the same as sales, because you can get people to your website, you can get them to look at your product, but they're not necessarily going to always buy unless you have a plan, because not all people buy right away when they see something. They need repetition, or they need to be reminded. They need a follow-up for them to actually press that "I'm ready to buy" button. I mean, some people will buy right away, but not everybody. I have a guide for you, and it's an ebook that I've written. It's called Marketing Methods. Which ones are right for me? I think that's the title. It's something along those lines. Basically, it breaks down passive and active marketing, a whole bunch of different examples of what they are, what types of methods you can use, and it has a chart that indicates what stage of business or what situation you might use these particular methods, because some build upon the others and some are better in certain scenarios than others. Maybe if you're pivoting your business, then one method might be better than another, or if you're launching a new product, one might be better than another. There's, in that chart, it also says which ones are going to mainly cost you money, which ones are mainly going to cost you time, which are going to cost you time and money. At the end of this ebook, it also has journal prompts, which are questions that I think are important for you to define in order to arrive at the decision of which marketing methods you're going to choose. On top of that, and this is the main bonus of everything, there's a link on the last page for a complimentary consultation for 30 minutes. And in that consultation, we'll get to discuss exactly what it is you came up with for your journal prompts. We'll get to answer any questions that you have about marketing methods, and we'll come up with some ideas about what may be most appropriate for your business and your products and services and the stage of business that you're in now. And it's all a really great deal because it's all included in the price of the ebook. So click on the link, go to ebooks, and you'll have a clearer idea of what marketing methods to choose and implement than you did right now. Okay? All right, well, I hope you have a great morning, evening, or night, depending on when you're viewing this, and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care.